Today we're back exploring the StarFive VisionFive 2, and what we're going to do is compile TyrQuake and then go ahead and run some time demos on it, and then we'll play a little bit. StarFive's build of Debian comes with a lot of tools out of the box, but it doesn't have all the dependencies required to install TyrQuake. So what we're going to do is go ahead and use apt and download all of the dependencies and a couple of extra things that I usually include whenever I'm starting a new build system. llvm and clang I think aren't required, but we want to do the build essential meta package, include the libraries, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have GCC in there as well. So I did have a typo in there. We're going to go ahead and make sure that X1 is in X11, and everything should be okay. With all our dependencies in there, and while we're in the TyrQuake source directory, we're going to go ahead and make. It's actually very simple at this point because they did such good work setting up the make file for it that you can just type a single command and it's going to build everything. Now, one thing TyrQuake does not include is a make install target, so we can't install it and have it automatically copy all the bin files for us. We could put those somewhere if we wanted to, so that they'd be accessible globally, but for today we're just going to go ahead and access them from the source directory's bin folder. The VisionFive 2 is pretty powerful for a little single board computer, but it's not as powerful as some of the other solutions available, and certainly not as powerful as a desktop computer. So it's going to take a little while to build, and we're just going to give it its time right now. I'll come back at the end of the build period and we'll get those time demos going. you may have noticed that some of these object files are taking longer than others to build, specifically the sound-based ones, and those gave me the most trouble hunting down dependencies because there's a different audio solution in use right now in modern Debian and most modern distributions where they're using that instead of pulse audio, but some of these older projects like TyrQuake are still looking for those pulse audio dependencies. And you can't have both pulse audio and the current solution installed at the same time. So I had to track down the right package to include just the development libraries and the headers for it. And then we can go ahead and build. But you'll see every time the sound ones come up, it looks like it's going to stall for a little bit before picking back up again. I'll use some of this downtime to go ahead and thank Living Linux for his channel for showing that this could be done and providing some instructions that were workable in his build. I did change a few things for this one since it's been a little while and there's been some updates, and I believe that the Git repository for TyrQuake wasn't available for me. So I had to use a different repo when I cloned it. So this provides a little bit updated for the end of 2024 how-to, and also demoing that this is something that can be done with your VisionFive too. after a couple of typos and remembering a directory, we can go ahead and boot up GLQuake. Now, the problem with the VisionFive 2 right now is that even though it can load the GL, you'll still see that it's trying to interpret all those OpenGL instructions in software. And so it actually becomes slower than just running in pure software mode. This makes it so that it's incredibly slow trying to run anything in OpenGL right now. You'll see here we're going to try to do a time demo, but we're going to give up on that because it's just going to take far too long in its current state. Once there's a working actual hardware OpenGL implementation, I'm going to come back and revisit this. One thing I forgot to do was something that Living Linux pointed out on his channel in a video on AI on a different SBC, was that the current GCC version, like 14 or later, actually includes some better handling of RISC-V than the current version that I have installed here, which is version 12. So one thing I'm going to do is try to upgrade GCC on my VisionFive 2 and see if we get any better performance out of it in Quake. But right now we're going to go ahead and run the time demo for software mode version of Quake and see how fast it is. You can see it's much smoother in pure software mode. It's performing a lot faster, more of what you'd expect on a modern PC. And what we got there was somewhere around, was it 38? My preview window is very small. I think it's about 38 frames per second that we were getting, which is absolutely playable. And so I'm going to go ahead and see how far I can get in episode 1 before I die too horribly. Just going over my settings and making sure this is good for me to play. And what we run into is a problem, possibly just because the loopy connections I got to go through with my capture device. But full screen modes aren't working out too well, so we're going to have to play in the window. Thankfully, the artifacting on screen clears up, and the mouse look is working just fine. I had some issues with that before in testing, where it was still trying to use the mouse look as a movement, and of course, we play on hard here, or ultra violence in Doom. It's no problem taking out one of the first monsters here. Getting our first secret. I don't think I get all the secrets because I don't end up going for the suit and going for a swim in this one. But I do my best to work with the little mouse and keyboard that I have on the little window here and try to maneuver around, make sure I can pick up most of the secrets, get most of the kills and items for this level. Sorry about the little stutter there. We'll get back to shooting things up and proceeding towards the end of the level. One thing that we can't miss here is the secret to get the super shotgun, which I am not doing too well at hitting the target there, and there we go, got the secret. We're going to go ahead and push towards map 2 of this episode. Look at the episode stats and see it did okay. Not perfect, but okay. And then I die horribly. Now, one of the problems I ran into while capturing this was I had all the audio for the game going out through the capture card. and not into my headphones, so I couldn't hear anything, and I thought there wasn't any audio being produced. But as we listen here, that's obviously not the case. Sound works fine. Mouse look is working fine. Everything's working pretty good. It's just can't use the hardware acceleration on this yet. Now this fight coming up is pretty tough, so I make sure that I employ the better part of valor there and get myself as far as possible from these monsters. This may seem like a cheap strategy, and it is, but it certainly kept me alive. Missed some secrets and kills on this one, but overall, not too bad. Could have played better, could have got everything. Maybe we'll do that. Try to do a 100% run if there's enough interest in it after I go ahead and get the new compiler version in there and try to run this again. And seems to be tradition now, dying horribly out the gate of the next map. But I think this is where I'm going to call it for today. Hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll try to find a way to make these things more interesting in the future for you. Get better with my editing. So thanks and goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.